Hello, everyone. So my name is Lei Chai. I'm an assistant professor in Department of Social Work and Social Administration. I started this position 3 months ago, so I'm still pretty new to the department and to the HKU. So today I'm going to present a paper that I'm currently working on. So here is the conceptual framework of this study, which I believe will help everyone better understand this presentation. So this study focuses on the association between loneliness and both mental health and the life satisfaction. I wanted to examine whether neighborhood cohesion moderates this focal relationship, and then whether the moderating role of neighborhood cohesion is further modified by gender. So next, I'm going to unpack this conceptual framework and then move on to methods and results. So what is loneliness? Loneliness is defined as subjective, distressing experience that arises when there is a perceived gap between individuals' desired and actual social connections. Although loneliness and social isolation are often discussed together, research actually differentiates between the two concepts. On the one hand, social isolation refers to an observable lack of social interactions and physical proximity to others, but an individual may not necessarily feel lonely. On the other hand, loneliness is an internal psychological state that can persist even when someone is surrounded by others. So recent statistics indicate that about 3.1 million people in England, about 7% of population report experiencing loneliness often or always in 2023 and 2024, indicating an increase from 6% in 2021 and 2022. These statistics highlight growing prevalence of loneliness and the need for further investigation into its consequences. From the perspective of the stress process model, loneliness functions as a significant stressor with detrimental effects on mental health. Extensive research, both cross-sectional and longitudinal, has demonstrated this association with systematic reviews and meta-analysis, further reinforcing these findings. The negative impact of loneliness on mental health has documented across diverse populations, including children, adolescents, older individuals, as well as socioeconomically disadvantaged groups, such as sexual minorities and people with disabilities. Beyond the mental health, loneliness has been linked to lower life satisfaction. However, most studies examining this relationship have relied on cross-sectional designs and have predominantly focused on specific populations, particularly older individuals. Among the limited number of studies using longitudinal data, research has primarily examined specific populations, especially among employed individuals. A notable exception is a recent study by this author using 3 Waves UKHLS data, where the author discovered a negative association between loneliness and life satisfaction among individuals aged 50 and older. So while the stress process model helps explain how loneliness negatively impacts life satisfaction, other theoretical frameworks have been used to explore this relationship. Needs-based theory, for instance, argue that well-being is largely determined by the extent to which an individual's basic physiological and psychological needs are met. These theories emphasize the fundamental human needs for social belonging, suggesting that loneliness as a distressing emotional experience undermines well-being by signaling an unmet social need. Drawing on the social stress process model and needs-based theory, along with existing empirical evidence, it is reasonable to expect a negative association between loneliness and both mental health and life satisfaction over time. The stress process model also suggests that stressors influence mental health and life satisfaction through mediating or moderating psychosocial mechanisms. Considerable research has examined the potential mediators in the relationship between loneliness and both mental health and life satisfaction, including social support, resilience, and self-esteem. However, as the present study uses only 2 waves of UKHLS data, I'm going to talk more about this later. It is not feasible to document causal mediation effects. Therefore, the study instead focuses on exploring potential moderating mechanisms. Most studies examining moderators have focused on social demographic characteristics such as gender, age, and geographic location. Some studies have explored psychosocial moderators such as religiosity and self-esteem. However, the role of neighborhood characteristics as a moderating factor remains underexplored. Given that the residential neighborhoods constitute a significant part of life where individuals spend 1/3 of their time, this study examines neighborhood cohesion as a potential buffer against the negative effects of loneliness. So neighborhood cohesion refers to the sense of social support derived from strong, close ties within one's residential community, fostering a shared sense of belonging. Specifically, a cohesive neighborhood can enhance mental health and well-being by strengthening local support networks and reducing social isolation. At the same time, a strong sense of neighborhood support could enhance the perceived availability of emotional, instrumental, and informational resources from their neighbors, thereby reinforcing well-being. Both cross-sectional and longitudinal studies have consistently found that neighborhood cohesion is associated with better mental health and higher life satisfaction. So the stress process model suggests that psychosocial resources can buffer against the negative effects of stressors. And supporting this framework, Jiang and colleagues found that among older adults in Chicago, neighborhood cohesion mitigated the adverse effects of living alone on mortality. Similarly, another study demonstrated that higher neighborhood cohesion helped buffer the psychological distress associated with the COVID-19 pandemic in a large US adult sample. Although no study, to my best knowledge, has examined whether neighborhood cohesion moderates the impact of loneliness on both mental health and life satisfaction, existing research and empirical evidence has supported this possibility. So to add another layer of complexity to the present scenario, I propose that the gender differences in socialization may influence the moderating effect of neighborhood cohesion on the link between loneliness and both mental health and life satisfaction. So specifically, women often cultivate larger and more interconnected networks within their neighborhoods, which can provide stronger emotional and practical support. By contrast, traditional norms of masculinity may discourage men from engaging with neighborhood-based social ties or seeking social support, as these norms tend to emphasize independence and self-reliance. Therefore, women may benefit substantially from neighborhood cohesion in reducing the adverse effects of loneliness on both outcomes. Men, however, may experience fewer advantages from these connections. Again, although this hypothesis has not been tested within the examined context, theoretical ideas embedding gender socialization imply that neighborhood cohesions benefit maybe more significantly for women. So this study draws on data from the UKHS data, the largest household survey in the UK. Data were extracted from wave 9 and wave 12. The only waves that consistently include measures of loneliness and neighborhood cohesion. The sample size was restricted to individuals aged 18 and older, resulting in a final analytical sample of about 29,574 person years of data. So mental health was assessed using 12-item general health questionnaire. Life satisfaction was measured using a single item question. So loneliness was assessed using the 3-item UCLA loneliness scale. Neighborhood cohesion was assessed using Beckner's Neighborhood Cohesion Index. Several variables were included as controls, such as marital status, number of children, education, employment status, and personal income, and finally, survey wave. So fixed effects regression models were employed. These models offer a key advantage of by isolating with individual variations over time, effectively controlling for unobserved time-invariant characteristics. To confirm the appropriateness of the fixed effects model over random effects model, Hausman tests were conducted. For the moderation analysis, two-way interaction terms were incorporated to assess whether the association between loneliness and mental health and life satisfaction vary by neighborhood cohesion. Finally, survey interaction terms were included to examine whether the moderating effects of neighborhood cohesion differ by gender. So Table 1 shows fixed effects regression models predicting poorer mental health and lower life satisfaction. Model 1A shows that loneliness is actually associated with poor mental health over time. Similarly, Model 2A shows that loneliness is also associated with lower life satisfaction over time. Model 1B shows that neighborhood cohesion moderates the association between loneliness and mental health. Similarly, Model 2B shows that neighborhood cohesion also moderates the loneliness, the relationship between loneliness and life satisfaction. To better understand these two interaction terms, I created two figures. On the left side, we see that loneliness is positively associated with poor mental health. However, this positive relationship is weaker or less pronounced among individuals with high neighborhood cohesion. We do see a similar moderating pattern for life satisfaction as well. However, Model 1C shows that the moderating role of neighborhood cohesion is not further modified by gender. And then the same survey interaction term we found for life satisfaction is also not significant. So conclusion, this study is among the first to test whether neighborhood cohesion moderates the impact of loneliness on both mental health and life satisfaction within a longitudinal framework. Findings suggest that neighborhood cohesion is a meaningful psychosocial buffer, mitigating the negative effects of loneliness on both health outcomes. And this supports the stress buffering hypothesis and underscores the public health value of fostering socially cohesive neighborhood. The study challenges assumptions drawn from the gender socialization literature by showing that both men and women benefit similarly from neighborhood cohesion. This finding may reflect shifting norms around masculinity and social support as men increasingly participate in community-based interactions and informal support networks. Okay, so that's the presentation. Thank you so much.
All right.